all the hard work in putting this event together. We've had some great speakers, and it's truly inspiring, and I'm hoping to follow suit. As you see, I'm Hamish Campbell, Scottish name, English accent, but very much embraced as a New Yorker. I am the creative director of Pearlfisher in New York. And what I want to talk to you today about is owning the spectrum, commanding colour for brands. And for those of you who don't know Pearlfisher at all, we're an independent branding design agency across 2 studios, and in London and in New York. Still very much integral are the 3 founding partners who work across both studios. We've just reached 20 years, and hopefully we'll have 20 more years of independence, although you might head back and find out I've been sold to WPP, I don't know. So a little bit about myself and why colour excites me so much. As the guys in New York have found out, that I have a passion for sneakers, and I'm known as a true sneakerhead. I have somewhere between 80 to 90 pairs of sneakers, and I often buy multiple pairs just because of the different colours that I love so much. Sarah, my colleague who travelled with me today, was very disappointed I didn't wear a pair, but part of being a sneakerhead is you like them box fresh and you don't wear them. Pretty sad, I know. I think the worst thing is I have more shoes than my wife, which is a bit of a worry. At Pearlfisher, we think about brands and work with brands every day, and that's from small brands, really pushing them forward to, success, how we can drive them and make them really have a share of the market, but also large iconic brands, so ones that might have lost their way a little bit and they need reinvigorating into their former glorious self. So as we know, colour plays a huge impact emotion with us. It can make us feel hot, it can make us feel cold, it can be poppy and happy and probably a little bit annoying, but it also can be dark and moody and sensual. Colour has huge power. We have preconceived concepts of what colour is. We know what luxury tones would be, we know what value tones would be. If I was up here wearing multiple coloured clothes and purple hair, you'll probably think I'm a bit of a nutcase, or if I was up here in sort of a tight tuxedo, you think this will probably be a really boring talk. So this is all stuff that we already know, and brands know it as well. So we have the bright reds, you're going to think Coca-Cola. We have bright purples, you wouldn't be Cadbury's without purple. This might be a colour that everyone's probably spent a bit of time with last week, the green, while we've been doing our taxes with H&R Block. And then even getting to social media, we have Twitter. And hopefully some of you might tweet about this if you like it, and if you don't, please don't. So, owning colour is a big part of brands, not just for their heartfelt, iconic reasons, but literally going out there and purchasing it and being very important so they can really kind of drive it forward across their consumers. So we've touched a little bit on luxury, so you have Tiffany with their beautiful blue here, and this kind of really elevates what is, beautiful piece of jewelry on its own, like a diamond ring or a necklace or earrings, but to put it in a blue box elevates it to another level. And that piece of packaging becomes an extension of that experience as well. People keep the boxes, they keep the bags, and they reuse them just because of the colour of this pack. We go into Veuve Clicquot, and the orange of the label comes, that signature of a quality champagne. People look for it behind bars, that gives them that security that they know this is of quality. And you see even celebrities wanting to be associated with. They have big parties, they'll fill the rooms full of Veuve Clicquot, and you get the kind of disastrous things where you hear people start saying, oh, the Clicquot, and it's a terrible state for a great brand like this. Christian Louboutin, a fantastic, iconic treatment on footwear. Although a massive sneakerhead, I do have appreciation for all shoes. But that red sole has such an impact on women that people will hand over entire rent checks just to own a pair. It makes women feel incredibly empowered when they're wearing them. My wife got a pair sort of a year or so ago. It was probably the happiest day of her life, way beyond me proposing. And we went out for dinner, and she was wearing them, and she felt fantastic, 10 feet tall, strutting her stuff, and we had a wonderful night until we were on our way home, and she stepped on a grate, and it ripped the shoe, and disaster happened, literally gone from the best night to absolute zero. And I was telling Sarah the story, and she had the same sort of face my wife did, and there was definitely nothing I could say that could help matters there, and just get home quietly was definitely the order of the day. But it just shows from having one colour on the sole makes how powerful this icon can be, and as soon as it gets damaged or it's not there, it just becomes an ordinary shoe. We did manage to get it fixed, so she's still my wife, so that's fine. Wiffle. This is a fairly new game to me, but I'm sure you guys all know it very well. Lots of nostalgia there. Last summer I was laying on the beach for the plastic bats, but I'm sure if I gave you a piece of yellow plastic, it would bring back fond memories of the childhood. But just such strong iconography just from the colour yellow that brings back such an emotional connection. So at Pearlfisher, we think about brands in two ways, and this is how we define who we work with. So icons, as some of the guys you've just seen, they're the market leaders. They drive consumers, they set the rules. But sort of the more interesting thing I want to talk to you about is challenges. And challenges are about change. They're about progress, creating the new, and defining the way forward. What's so great about challenges is they haven't been set these huge corporate guidelines. You're not strict there. They're kind of rogues. They can sort of break out and do something new and start disruption. So they have a fantastic raw potential, and definitely my favorite brands to kind of start working on. So when we start working on challenges, we give them 4 principles. And that is, big ideas, disruption, simplicity, and expression. And just to expand on that a little bit, big ideas about, groundbreaking visuals, creating a new meaning. What is that concept? Disruption, that's really about creating a new language, a new aesthetic, that's something that breaks away from what everyone else is doing. And then simplicity, it's that real cut-through moment. Can we get rid of all the clutter that's going on there and break through and simplify what we're doing? And then expression, it's about a bold statement. What is our new narrative? What are we going to start talking to consumers about? And so we're looking at the big idea, and what we're seeing as our first principle is, make it personal. We've seen, a lot of these big icons, they hold on to their brand color in a stagnant way, make sure no one else can replicate it. But what we're starting to see is actually a shift, becoming more of a creative freedom for consumers. And challengers are really championing this and driving it forward, so they're celebrating this individuality. And one of the small things we do at Pearlfisher is that when everybody first joins, they get to choose their own colour for their business card, and there's a few examples up here. It's one of these things I wish it took people like one day so I can get them the new business cards, but it often takes quite a while, and it's very irritating. So one of the areas that we've started seeing this personalisation really kind of hit into is in the body and beauty range. And to give you a little bit of a background on what we do at Pearlfisher, Insight is a big area we specialise in. We have teams that sort of look across the globe in different cultures, see what movements are happening, and they show us the shifts and trends that we can really drive the future of design. And when you talk about personalisation, body and beauty are really kind of grasping hold of this idea and pushing it forward. And just to kind of give you a snapshot of some of our thinking is, today we're seeing the beginnings of new ways to look at the body. There's really is no holding people back. You can achieve anything now. And recently we saw the first disabled man run in the Olympics as well as the Paralympics, although on steroids, but I'm sure he's still pretty fast without those. We have, new emphasis that are questioning the ideal body shape. Gone are the days of the size 0. We have the wonderful Joan from Mad Men, full-bodied, voluptuous, bright red hair, creating this icon. Big fan, personally. But it's really, driving new aesthetics. We have new role models. We have a young, dynamic black president. I've been told by Sarah he's very sexy. I said he looks a little bit drunk here. But what we have is an infinite possibilities in reinvention and recreation that's available to us. Nike have been working very hard on new prosthetics for people, not only just to replicate, a lost limb, but to make them high performance, better than they've had before, but also look at the aesthetics of them to, be fashion acceptable. So there's huge developments going and being made available to us. So this shows that, gone are the days where we had to kind of all look the same, fit this one mold, fit the machine, fit the corporate look, and we can really kind of see into the future, and we'll transform ourselves to look into a different way, like celebrate individuality. Everyone here has different tastes and different personalities, and this is giving us the freedom to celebrate that. So what does this mean for brands? So this means not only we have the permission, but also I feel the responsibility to be increasingly bright, expressive, strong, vibrant, and free when we start our approach to design. We just heard from Pantone, and I'm gutted to hear the orange crayon is not there in Crayola, because I'm pretty sure I chewed a few of them when I was growing up. But they've come out with a whole spectrum skin tone chart, so you can find your perfect look and feel. And so ladies in the audience, correct me if I'm wrong, but previously you have 1 to 5, and you kind of have to find your best match. But now you have a better link personally with it, with the whole chart, and what the kind of future of this will lead to, that you can have your own color. And perhaps we've done some concept thinking back in the studio that you could go online in the digital space, find maybe a pop star or a model, or even just colors you like, and you could download that and it'll fix it to your set skin tone chart, and then perhaps even 3D print the product there. So really building on that personal, intimate relationship with the brand and the color itself. So our second principle, disruption. This is all about shaking it up. What is our new message when we're getting out there? Help Remedies, one of the brands we did at Pearlfisher. This really changed the way people see pharmaceuticals. You can imagine going around and all the packs there have the big throbbing red dot on, and you're like, that feels like my headache, that's like my back pain, it's all problem, problem, problem. And what we wanted to do was flip it on its head and use colour to be about solution. How can we talk about it in a positive way? Help being straightforward, saying I can't sleep, we have the solution for you. It's not about problems, it's about solutions. And colour does this, it makes it very positive, but how it's also changed this market is the fact that these have become gifts. If I had said 5 years ago, I'm going to give you a pack of Band-Aids as a little gift, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't get invited to too many parties in the future. But it's a new way, through design and through colour, we can change perceptions of every category. Gorilla Coffee. This is a small independent coffee brand in Brooklyn. It feels like quite a big brand. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but they've taken a very bold approach to their aesthetics. Traditionally, you sort of have coffees have deep earthy tones that might talk to location, where it came from, or roasts or sort of blends inside it. But what they wanted to stick to is that we're not talking to connoisseurs about coffee. The people want to know that it tastes good and it's strong and it's powerful, and that's all behind Gorilla. That's why they're a strong coffee, and having those deep, dark colours fighting really vibrantly gives you that strength and that confidence that you know what you're buying is something you're going to like. Nude is a natural cosmetic line that we designed and packaging and logo at Pearlfisher. This was really sort of showing how we can own a palette within brands. We don't necessarily have to be one colour, and this was allowing us to sort of break through the sort of cosmetic market with this new kind of tone that talks of softness and gentle, reflects the natural environment. The curves of the packs feel something to your body. But this really then starts leading the way that can be thought of as luxury. And the set of this is LVMH have just purchased this, and it's really starting to make a presence as quite a strong brand. So we have a lot of love for this at Pearlfisher. Microsoft rebranded last year. They've done a lot of things very bad for a very long time. I've felt sorry for people who have PCs, and I can see a few around the room. Being in the design world, I've always lived with Apples and had the luxury of that, but they've really caused some excitement. They've really engaged about being personal. You can have interchangeable tops, you can pick the colors you want, you can change the tablets around. You even see in their advertising marketing lots of different vibrant characters being the front face of it. So it's really invigorated this brand to, excite people, and to the point where you start thinking with, the loss of Steve Jobs, will Microsoft actually become the leader and be to where we look to for the new inventions in technology? Never thought I'd be saying that. Absolute Vodka, a brand we've worked with Pearlfisher for many years. Unfortunately, we didn't do this one. It's probably one of my favourite bits of design I've seen sort of recently. One, because I would love to be on the wall when they said that what we were going to do is make 4 million individual bottles, and just seeing the look on the brand manager's face when that happened. But what they've really brought into is that personalisation. You see there, I've been in many airports where I'd spend hours, well not hours, I'd missed a plane, but I'd look at multiple packs trying to find that one that speaks to me, and I'd pick one up and I'd find out that's better, and I have at least 4 of these at home, and I think it's an incredible piece of design. MakerBot, the 3D printer. Many people, have caught on to the 3D printing world, but it's used as a high-end technology. We have one in the studio, we use it for mock-ups. It's very quick and easy to talk about the technologies of this and get sucked into that, but what they've done is position themselves into a situation of play, and they've done that with colour by printing out all the sort of different colours and the objects and the forms, so you feel like you could have this in this home and be creative with it. It's not just about this amazing technology that's been discovered. It's actually an item of fun, and we have a lot of fun in the studio with ours. So our third principle is, simplicity. Let your brand shine through, a little bit unlike that type. We all design on great brands out there, and some of the products are fantastic, and it's not necessarily we always want to cover them up. Sometimes we want to celebrate what they're about. Patron is a brand we do a lot of work with, and they were the first guys to, market as silver tequila, and, put it in a premium position. Silver is actually an unaged tequila, so it's a lot easier to make than the older ones. But they'll position it higher, and they call it that colour silver. You see the clarity of it, and it talks to those premium cues. And because our perceptions, we're happy to hand over more money, although they love it, and it's actually a lot cheaper to make than their other versions. Jawbone, a great brand here where they look at the Bluetooth earpiece. A lot of people spend a lot of time, how can we make it smaller, indiscreet, it's in my ear, I can't see it. They've taken the other section, they've gone the other way. Let's talk about it as an accessory. Let's celebrate having it as part of your body. The touch of colour, we shouldn't be, if we're going to use technology, let's show it. And they've also done this with their watches as well. There's endless colours here, and I'm pretty sure multiple people buy many different colours to go with whatever outfit they see fit. Blackwater, this really is changing a market on its head. It's a very cool concept, how they kind of purify it. But water traditionally is all about, can we make it as clear as possible with, extra minerals in there. And to come out with black does your kind of head in. It makes it look very cool, but allowing the product itself to kind of stand and actually show you the packet. They're actually clear bottles. It's the pure water you're seeing. It's not a coated bottle at all. It makes it very cool, and I have purchased the bottle, but I'm yet to actually drink it. It's quite a hard one to get your head around. Fruge, this is a 100% juice drink that we've designed at Pearlfisher. It's a Scandinavian brand, and in Scandinavia, they have a hard time getting their head around drinking 100% juice. They're very much used to the yogurt-based kind of smoothies out there, and it's all dairy-related. So their previous pack, which I don't have here today, didn't really showcase the product, and fruit gives you fantastic colour, is what we came down to. And can we just really enforce that and show the rich, vibrant juice that's in there and all the goodness, and make sure when we're doing the labelling, it works with it. And then we can kind of reinforce messages on there and have a bit of fun, like, we don't do dairy, it's better than Botox, pick me up. Just continuing that force of, colour and vibrancy to showcase our product. Tria is a very interesting brand. It's a Silicon Valley group of scientists who came to us, and they have more PhDs than I have sneakers. They're incredibly intelligent, and what they've managed to do is harness laser technology, and where you'd previously have to go to spas to have these skin treatments or hair removal in huge machines, they managed to actually work out how to put them in handheld devices. They've explained to me a number of times in layman's terms, I really can't get my head around it at all. But what we wanted to do when we were doing the packaging and branding here was to talk about the technology of light and, showing, clarity and purity of what they're trying to do. And so we used the spectrum is a big key of their brand. That is what light truly is, and every different layer within inside a laser. And what's fantastic when you start doing that, you can start segmenting the different ranges, so different colors relate to whether it's skin rejuvenation or hair removal and so forth. Urban Ears, another great brand that's out there. You know, they are great headphones. You know, I have a pair, I really like them. But, you know, if you want the best quality sound-wise headphones, it's not Urban Ears, and they know that. And what they trade off is colour, and the difference in colour, and everyone wanting to find their own individuality. So they showcase the product there clearly, but what they're really doing is making the Packer billboard a big slug of colour. That's how you're going to shop. When you see a wall of all your different vibrancies, you're not looking at the shape of the headphones, you're going, I like green, I like turquoise, I like red, or I like all of them, and I'm buying them all. So they're really playing on the fact that being, you know, personal with colour is incredibly important. So this is expression, apparently, and it's what's quite nice is I want to talk to you about white. So it's kind of fitting if you can half squint and see it there. And you know, through our Insight program, we have our Insight director Sophie Maxwell, who is absolutely brilliant and casting trends. And what we've seen in the luxury arena is that, you know, you have these very much these dark tones, you know, traditionally black or deep colors with pops of metallics, golds and silver, but actually white has made the shift from a value color to a premium color. It's about stripping back and purity. You know, Apple have been doing it for years, not only with their software but also with their packs, making them simplifying and stripping back. And what Apple have always done is they've always brought out a black iPhone followed by a white iPhone to make it feel like it's a step up. So it might entice you to buy two, that white is a more premium color than black. C is a bath range for the Prince Hotel in Melbourne, and it's all about debossing on the white packs to give you that very sensual moment. Almost every pack feels like a bar of soap, so it has that very soft touch to it. It's intimate, it feels very cleansing. Everything that you want the product to do, it can describe there with white. It feels very delicate and very premium. Margiela, this is a brand I absolutely love. I think it's a beautiful piece of packaging. And, you know, they strip everything back and do it in tones of white and sort of just the texture inside that, from what's coating their fragrance bottles to the rope that's tying the closures, and allow tiny little details to be a numbering system on there from, I think it's 0 to 23, and they allow you to find the one that's perfect for you, and then you can identify with it. So they talk to you on a very intimate level, a very delicate level. Thorell & Thomas macaroons, they have white packaging and they use it in a different way. They use it as a blank canvas to show forth the color that's going on in their product. You know, you get handed these beautiful white boxes, it's very pristine, you open up and you get this true excitement discovery of all these wonderful flavors and colors that sit inside there. And this goes on, and you know, you see, if you get a chance to go into their stores, everything is completely white, you know, from the tops of the counter, the desk, the displays, and all you have is the color of these macaroons. And it's absolutely an incredible experience, and it feels hugely luxury to be spoiled with that single bit of color popping against that white. I'm going to have a stab at saying this Givenchy, which I might have said wrong. But fashion brands, you start seeing them, you know, really starting to strip back and be a lot starker in what they're doing. You know, they're really capturing on that it's about purity. You see this happening across a lot of different fashion brands. P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, Sean Paul, I don't know. You know, he's renowned for his, you know, white parties. You know, it's now putting white out there to be, you know, exclusive. You can't all go to these. It's now like gone from what could just be a complete value brand to something that I actually want to be part of and, you know, aspire to be at them. So what does this mean for the future of brands? This means that we need to start thinking, no matter who you're working on, whether it's a massive icon, you need to think like a challenger. You need to disrupt everything. You need to have a big idea. You know, don't be afraid of disruption. Simplicity is always your friend. Don't overcomplicate things. And then rethink your brand expression. So overall, this is all about rethinking color. And that's how we at Pearlfisher think you design brands for the future. Thank you very much. you.